Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Hope everybody's had a fantastic weekend and we've all woken up and just see a sea of red on our altcoins. With Bitcoin's not doing too bad, to be honest. It's sitting at $92,865 for making this video, but a lot of our altcoins are starting to lose some of those gains that we've made, and it sort of puts a lot of fear and doubt in a lot of people's mind in what is going on. But what is actually going on? And I'll get into that in just a little while. But like as normal, I'll be talking a bit about CRO, crypto.com and Bitcoin as well as the stock markets too. So before I start, smash that like button, give subscribe. Your support is always much appreciated. But like I just said, on the monthly, weekly, daily, and now on the hourly, it's looking like just a sea of red. We've had a lot of altcoins that have been pulling back 20, 30, some are even pulled back around about 40%. From the highs, which is absolutely crazy, but it is happening and we are pulling back. And I've always said you've got to have a plan. Nothing I say in here is financial advice. You've always got to have a risk plan. And I've said in a number of videos now, we've just got to be very, very careful because we've got the stock market right now, which has just been completely hitting all-time highs. And now, is it due for a pullback? And we're starting to see that in the stock market. We've seen the dollar rise and the stock's starting to pull back. And we've even seen Nvidia and Apple really are pulling back as well. So we've just got to bear that in mind. And we're getting a lot of data that's coming out this week, which is going to be very, very significant, not just for the stock market, but for the crypto market as well. And like I said, we just got to prepare. And today, this week, I'll get into that in just a little while, what actually is coming out, which could actually really affect the market. It could either tank us or it could either pull us to the upside. But there's a lot of data coming out. But overall, it's looking a bit red. Again, could be a potential DCAing opportunity or just sitting on your hands and just being patient and waiting to see what actually happens. But when it comes to sort of like buying a dip, I just want to quickly put this out there. There's a sort of situation here where you buy at the top, you buy the little bit of dip, then deploying capital here, then generational buying and all in, bought with size, fully deployed here, buying a dip here, and I'm long here. Now, what I tend to do is when there's a dip, I don't go and buy on these 1% dips or 5% dips. Generally, what I tend to do is when there's a 10% dip or a 20% dip, they're the dips that I buy. Yes, it could be a 10% dip here, another 10% down there, another down there. Like, you know, it could be like people say it's a catch a falling knife, but everybody is in a very different financial situation to like what I am. And so when I buy the dips, I wait for these 10% dips and then I'll buy sort of every 10%. Now, some people say you're absolutely mental for that. You don't know what you're on about. You don't know what you're talking about. Look, I've been in the stock markets for 20 years. I've been in the crypto market for just over 5 years. I've been through it all. I've seen it all. I've missed so many gains. I'll be honest with you. I've not always been absolutely perfect at it. By all means, I've missed in a lot of gains that I could have had. I panic sold, or I didn't buy this certain coin and I should have done, and it pumped up 1,000, 2,000 or 5,000%, and I missed out a lot. I've been there, done that, and I do feel fear sometimes. I really do. So when people say I don't know what I'm talking about, I've been through it all and I've learned my lessons along the way, and that's what I'm hoping you guys do not make the same mistake that I've done. And a lot of people are saying, like with CRO is dead, it's boring, it does absolutely nothing. Look at all the other coins, they've pumped up. Look, I've been buying in the bear market when it was about 5 cents. I've been buying it. And now we're still sitting at around about, looking at Cronos at the moment, we're sitting at around about 13 pence. Yeah, it's not great. We've gone and seen a 23 pence and we've jumped down. And really, as I said in many videos, we should be up at 50 pence, really. That's where I think we should be with all the news that has come out. But it just doesn't seem to be gathering traction at the moment. But rest assured, it's all about being patient. But it's very, very difficult. And I understand that because when you're going to see tokens like BNB, which has absolutely been killing it, they killed it in the last bull market, actually made some massive moves to the upside and been grabbing a lot of attention. And we want CRO to do. Why is CRO not doing it? And that's what's on the question people are thinking about. Why is it not doing what BNB's doing at the moment? But that all comes down to being patient. Look, at the end of the day, we've got a lot coming out. from crypto.com on the Cronos chain. But it does help. And people don't think, oh, burns are going to help. Yes, they do help. They bring the supply down. And when there's demand there, they end up buying. And right now, it will get attention. Once we start making those big moves towards the upside, it will start to get attention. Crypto.com has got a lot of attention. It's just the CRO coin really hasn't. But that's also to do with the community getting out there with a CRO coin. And I see a lot of community members, CrowFam, doing that. And then we could do our bit. But also we want to see Crypto.com and the Cronos doing a little bit more in terms of getting that CRO coin out there and get it trending. That's what we want to see. We want to get it trending and then people will start to buy it. But we also want to see it getting on more exchanges as well. So we know Kraken is around the corner, but we want it. Can we get it on Binance? Because at the end of the day, Binance has got the biggest liquidity at the moment on there, on the crypto exchanges. And we want to get on there. So if we could get on there, then that's going to be absolutely amazing because that's going to bring in more liquidity into it. Because we know we're on Coinbase, OKX, or Bit and BitGet, and KuCoin and MEXC. We're just missing Kraken and Binance, in my opinion. Now, when you could get onto those exchanges, plus you've got the burns, which are coming out, and we have not heard anything about any burns really from Crypto.com, but I'm hoping that will come about because at the end of the day, what appreciates tokens for exchanges are burns, and that's what Binance is doing, and that's why we're starting to see a lot of movement to the upside because of these burns. And I know, like I said, some people don't like them. I love them because it helps with the price. At the end of the day, if that happens, we start getting burns, what's going to happen? If we get an announcement of Crypto.com and we're going to get a 5-10 billion burn, or we hear off the Cronos chain about these kind of burns, it's going to bring a lot of attention to CrowCoin. And that's going to get people, right, I'm going to start buying now because we're going to have these burns and the price is going to pump. And that's what tends to happen. So it's all about being patient because, like I said, when you look at this, you feel like absolutely gutted. But look what happened when we got that burn last time. We had that massive move up in the last bull market. So it's all about hoping, praying, and being patient. And that's how I see it at the moment. But yeah, CrowCoin at the moment, it's just been on that falling wedge, falling down to the downside. It has been bleeding, and you see your portfolio having an impact. But we're coming down to that falling wedge. This is a make or break time, in my opinion. We're coming up to this white line. If we drop down, there is a potential that we could come down to about that 12 pence to 11 pence mark, and even could come down to that 10 pence mark. So it's all depending what happens this week with what happens with the data that's coming out of the US. But overall, CRO has just been bleeding down. It's coming up to a very area of support, which is held before. Will it hold again? But hopefully it can hold the line and the bulls could step in and push up. It's only going to take a bit of good news that comes in. So off Crypto.com or the Cronos chain to help us keep that support. But right now, like I said, you just got to zoom out. Look what's happened on the roadmap. Look what's happened on the Cronos chain roadmap. It's absolutely bullish. You know, we've got the Cronos ETF submission coming in Q3. And also we've got like rewards on Bitcoin. That's going to be very interesting. We've also got the exchange expansion in the United States of America. And that's another big thing for the CRO token as well. We haven't really been able to get into the US. Well, when Crypto.com starts getting on, maybe that might have a better impact on the CRO coin. But obviously, time will tell on that one. It's very difficult to say. But looking at Bitcoin at the moment, we can have a quick look at Bitcoin. We're on this wedge here, falling wedge here, which tends to break out to the upside. Bitcoin's been holding on quite well at the moment. We're sitting at around about that $93. A lot of support around about that $90 to $91. Lose that, we could come down to 88,000. And again, if we lose that, there's a potential we could come even down to into the 70s and the late 60s. So we've just got to be prepared for that. We've got to brace up for that because obviously, if that happens, we're going to obviously drop down with the altcoins quite heavily and significantly down to the downside. And that's why I say with CRO coin, if that happens, there is a strong possibility that we could come down to that 11 pence mark or 10 pence mark. So we've got to be prepared for that. I don't mean to be bearish on it, but medium to long term, I'm really bullish. 2025, in my opinion, is going to be a good year for crypto. But looking at Bitcoin dominance now, Bitcoin dominance is gradually, we sort of bounced off around that around about that 56%. And now we're back up to around about that 58.4%. So now we've sort of bounced off there. So it's still see what happens now. And obviously, if Bitcoin, actually, to be honest with you, when you look at the dominance, what's happening with the altcoins with this big bleed down we're having? Dominance hasn't pumped up all the way back up to 60 yet. Yes, it's come up to about 58.4%, but could it overturn and start dropping down to the downside? So obviously it's all to do with the market. Now, why is the markets acting how we are? Now, we know in the US on Tuesday, which is the 14th, we got core PPI and PPI. So what is core PPI? Basically what it is it measures the change in the selling price of goods and services sold by producers. What it does is it excludes food and energy. It's a key indicator of inflation from a perspective of producers. And the latest release for December 24 showed an increase of 0.2%, which was in line with the forecast. So what we've got here is 0.2. Now, what we don't want to see is that increase either hold or it slowly comes down. We do not want it to go up, because if CPI inflation goes up, that means then we are definitely heading for a pause or no rate cuts at all, basically, which the market does not like. And if the market doesn't like that, we could tank. And that's the way it is. And like I said, we've also got the PPI month on month, which is 0.4 previous. And again, it's 0.4 forecast. Now, if that goes up again, then obviously the markets in the stocks are not going to like it. But also very big, again, on January the 15th, is CPI month on month, CPI year on year. This is the core price index, what measures the change in the price of goods, services. Now, this is excluding, completely opposite to Tuesday's, excluding food and energy from the perspective of consumers. What it does is, it's a key indicator of inflation. The latest release, again, was in December 2024, which showed an increase of 0.3%. So we just got to bear that in mind. We don't want this increasing, because the stock markets will not act well. And we can see the fear at the moment, that where we are at the moment, we're in fear. And we're on the cusp of extreme fear for the markets. Now, we've got to bear in mind, with the stock markets, they've been going to all-time highs. And now, is this the time where we're going to get that pullback that a lot of people have been anticipating? A lot of people anticipate in a crash. The bears want a crash. I don't think we're going to get that. I think, yes, we're going to get a pullback, and we are pulling back. And this is affecting the crypto market. So all eyes are on the markets right now. All eyes are on the inflation data coming out this week. And then towards the end of the week, we've got the FOMC. Now, in between the data we're getting for the CPI, we've also got the inauguration for Donald Trump. And a lot of the markets are very cautious with Donald Trump in terms, is he going to bring in more inflation or not? So at the moment, we're on in extreme fear. And we can see on the CMA tool that at the moment, it's 97.3 for a 25 basis point. But look, there is an economist coming out now and saying, actually, we do not think this year we are going to get any more cuts. It's just going to be one big pause until see how the data is, because they're worried about inflation rising during this year. So obviously, like I said, this is going to affect the markets. This is also going to concern, because we can see here, US effectiveness signals fewer or no rate cuts for 2025. And the markets do not like that one little bit. So we're just going to bear that one in mind. This could affect CRO to pull us back even further. Now, on the flip side, it could go completely opposite way, and we could start getting inflation is coming down, and we start getting rate cuts again, and that's going to be bullish. But at the moment, for me, it's looking like we're getting a more pullback on the markets, and also it's going to be very interesting telling what happens with the CPI data coming out Tuesday and Wednesday. So keep an eye on that. It's like I said, potentially it could be buying a dip, but there's a risk that we could drop even further. And it doesn't look great, because we see on X, there's a lot of people who are angry, fearful. I've had a lot of comments, believe it or not, a lot of hate comments that have been DM'd me. But, and I say to a lot of people, if you're still watching this video, look, at the end of the day, I make these videos because I enjoy making these videos. I do not get paid by crypto.com. I get paid nothing. And I don't really talk about many other coins bar CRO or Bitcoin. I might mention a bit about Pepe and Ponky because I own them, but I'm not paid by anybody like that. So I'm not being a paid promoter for any or shilling any kind of crap coins, basically. I don't do that. I do this because I enjoy doing it. And once I stop, I'll be honest with you, if I stop enjoying doing it, I won't make any more videos. And that's how it is. But I do enjoy doing it. It helps me keep on learning. And people say to me, well, you don't know what you're talking about the stock markets. Yes, I do. I've been doing it for 20 years and I've done well at it. I bought Amazon in the earlier days. I bought Nvidia when we were in the crypto bear market. I bought Nvidia and I rose it all to all-time high and sold some. Sold some in my Amazon and sold some in my Apple. So when we were in the bear market for crypto, I was in the bull market for the stock markets. Look, I've been through it for many years. I own property. I own land. I've done all right. And when people say to me, I don't know what I'm talking about, that's up to them to think that. But anyway, I just want to put my experiences out there to you guys. And then hopefully you can take what I've learned as well. So, but like I said, smash that like button, give subscribe. Sorry about the rant at the end. I just felt like I had to get off my chest. But yeah, hit that like button and I'll see you soon in the next video. Take care.